things, and we begin with Maxx Crosby. Crosby went to his own podcast yesterday and voiced his frustrations with the way that things went down with the Baltimore Ravens trade. Take a listen.
One of the Ravens guys called me and was like, yo, we're trying to figure this out. You know, we're going to get this done. Don't worry. Like 5 minutes later, CJ calls me. It's like, they're backing out. I'm like, oh. So I'm like frozen. I'm like, what? I'm livid, confused, the whole nine all in one. Everyone's got their own theory, conspiracy theory. No one really will ever admit at either side what the real truth is or whatever. And ultimately, it doesn't even matter. I am where I'm supposed to be. I know that. It's like that scene of Sopranos. Against Silvio, he's like, do it for me, Sil. He's like, as soon as they thought I was out, they pulled me back in. They pulled me back in, and that's exactly what it is. I'm in for life, and until that changes, which I don't foresee, you never know. Honestly, you never know in this damn league. I found that out for sure. But I just feel like I'm meant to be a Raider, and that's what it is.
Louis, pretty rare we get a player so candid, and now that these guys have their own podcasts, we get it just unfiltered. What was your reaction to hearing Crosby's frustrations?
Yeah, I mean, that's the human side of it, right, Peter? That's the human side of the business that I think in general people take for granted. Like they feel as though players are just immune to the kinds of changes that can occur in your life and the kind of emotional roller coaster you can go on when you're moving from one team to the next, especially when you're talking about Max in his specific situation, what he has overcome and who he has become as a Raider, someone who has really taken to those silver and black colors and kind of made them his own. He is the quintessential Raider. So for him to kind of go across country and feel as though, you know, he's going to be now just turning his life around, turning his life in a totally different direction by playing for the Baltimore Ravens. And then the Baltimore Ravens kind of pulled the rug out from underneath him, you know, justifiably so. We're concerned from a medical perspective, and then have to go back to the Raiders. I mean, that's a lot. But I think what you see with him, though, is the fact that he really does identify as a Raider. Being a Raider is different. I can attest to that personally. And you can just tell this is very emotional for him.
Yeah, Harry, I listened to the whole podcast, and at one point he's talking about, you know, the GM didn't even dap me up. The coach was a little weird. Like, he felt the vibes were off. And meanwhile, his wife and his daughter are in the facility, and they're just waiting to sign and have this wonderful celebration. All of that whirlwind, now we're here, and he's back on the Raiders. Can it just be, we're all good?
Well, I think when you look at a player of the caliber of Maxx Crosby, who was the face of the Las Vegas Raiders for the last few years, yes, he's great in that community. He's beloved within that organization as well. And you say to yourself, if you're John Spytek, I'm not trading away a guy of this caliber that can play at a very, very high level for peanuts. That's not happening. Before I do that, I will go out there and have Maxx Crosby on my football team, and then at the trade deadline, we can revisit this. But there's also the flip side of it. If you're Spytek, this is a player that could really help my football team. Yeah. We've made some moves in free agency. We're going to have a young quarterback that everyone believes that they're going to draft Fernando Mendoza with the #1 overall pick. So you also got to question, okay, should I go through with it, or should this guy just be a Raider for life?
Well, they made all those moves thinking Maxx Crosby was not going to be part of the equation. That's why they went and spent all that money. Listening to Max, can I just say, when I heard that Maxx Crosby landed in D.C. and then had to drive to Baltimore.
Flew commercial.
That is what Kmart has to do covering Ravens games. I was like, Maxx Crosby should not be on my travel itinerary. Like, that to me is wild. I expected there to be a mariachi band, like a whole, like a circuit, like a whole festival.
Here's Jimmy's Seafood. We've got the crowd waiting for you. Yeah, the whole thing.
Outside that Ravens facility.
And it also shouldn't take that long for somebody to come greet him from top up in the organization as well.
The Ravens have never given up this kind of compensation ever. I was just thinking all of Baltimore would be right there outside that facility. So that surprised me. Now, the question of whether he will be a Raider for life, I think guys will be whoever for life, depending on who's signing their paycheck. Maxx Crosby cares about football. So if he's a Raider, then he will give max effort for them, no pun intended, or if he had been in Baltimore. All the teams who were interested in him before, you got to be interested in him now. Understanding that, I understand we went through free agency, draft picks are different now, but I think all those teams have to be interested. But I don't assume that he will be on this roster, this Raiders roster, until the end of the season.
Most glaring
we still have so much time left in this season.
Would be the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a team that wasn't able to re-sign Jalen Phillips, who they went and traded for with the Miami Dolphins. They didn't re-sign him in this room. But we always know Howie Roseman has something up his sleeve.
Yeah.
But the flip side of it, if I'm Spy Tech, no Howie Roseman, you're not going to rob Peter and pay Paul with me. You're going to give me the compensation that I want from Maxx Crosby.
Those guys used to work together. Lewis, you know them both very well. What do you make of the Eagles side of it?
Yeah, look, obviously, look, Howie and John do know one another. I was with them both, in Philadelphia, in the early 2000s. And look, I think right now, what every GM though is going to be a little bit leery of is exactly what did the examination look like, and what are the prospects for Max in terms of his longevity? That's what it is. And look, John Spytek, the GM of the Raiders, knows that better than anybody because he's their guy. So they know exactly what he has still left in the tank. And I think that's going to go a long way towards them either pivoting and bringing him back on the football team and saying, hey, look, we never really wanted to get rid of him anyway, but we were trying to reset this thing, or continuing to go down the path of maybe trading him and maybe even accepting less for him if they are alarmed with what they believe his long-term prospects will be. But I can assure you this, Max is not the kind of guy that you just kind of flippantly just go, hey, look, this is just a transactional business and I'm just trying to trade him for assets. He deserves more than that. He's earned more than that. And I think John respects him more than that. And that's why I would not be shocked at all to see him remain a Raider for the rest of his career.
I will say, he was at the facility 6 a.m. the next day in Vegas and working on the knee. And his doctor, Dr. Neil Elatrosh, is considered one of the top surgeons in the world, said he is right on time. The Ravens doctors, and they had multiple, they didn't feel as comfortable about it. From the Raiders' standpoint, now you said it yourself, you suddenly all of a sudden have Maxx Crosby on. You look at this roster, it's completely revamped.
Way better than when you were thinking of getting rid of him. So that's why if you are the Raiders who you're going to bring in a rookie quarterback, there's no sort of directive that Mendoza has to start right away. You get a veteran quarterback, he plays, and you sort of build around him. That's what you want to see. Maxx Crosby makes any team better. If we were all excited about what the Ravens would look like with Maxx Crosby, we have to be excited about what he looks like staying in Las Vegas. So it makes a ton of sense to keep him. It's just that they had done all these moves thinking that he would not be a part of the equation.
Does it leave a bad taste in your mouth, the way he was describing the whole Baltimore situation?
Well, from Baltimore's perspective, it's a business move, right? And I don't fault the Baltimore Ravens for doing what they felt like was best for their organization. That's what Eric DaCosta, his job is to make sure the Ravens organization is in the best standards possible. And if they felt some type of way about the medicals, then they did what they had to do.
Yeah. Plenty more to come on this one, and it'll be all
Sports Center, brought to you by DraftKings. Link your ESPN and DraftKings accounts today to get personalized bracket recommendations.
Kevin Nagani back with you. And once again, breaking news today. Adam Schefter is reporting that the Dolphins are trading wide receiver Jalen Waddle and a fourth-round pick to the Broncos for a first, third, and fourth rounders. The first rounder is 30th overall, giving Miami 2 picks in the opening round. And check this out. The Dolphins, in April, they will be ready to go. They have 7 picks in the first 2 days of the NFL draft. 7 selections in the top 94 to be exact. That would tie the record for the most picks through 3 rounds in the common draft era. The only other team in the last 30 years with that many picks that early was the Cardinals 2 years ago. And there he is, senior NFL draft analyst Mel Kiper Jr., just dropping a new mock draft earlier today, and he joins us now on SportsCenter. Mel, so Miami now has 2 first-round picks. What do you anticipate the Dolphins doing at 11 and 30?
How about let's get Malik Willis some help on the offensive side, right? Give him a fighting chance to have some success at the quarterback position for the Miami Dolphins. Go get Jordan Tyson. If he's there coming out of Arizona State, you think about what he did 2 years ago. 75 catches in 2024, 15-yard average per catch. He was great with Sam Levitt that year. He is a beast after the catch. Did 26 reps at 225 pounds at the combine. Jordan Tyson, the only issue, Kev, is durability. Had 3 different injuries at Arizona State. If he can stay healthy, he can have one heck of a career in the NFL. So for the Miami Dolphins, get the wide receiver, get help from Malik Willis, and then get the edge rusher. So go from the wide receiver to Keldrick Falk, defensive end out of Auburn, who looks the part. You talk about size, athletic ability. The talent that he showed in 2024 when he had 7 sacks indicated that he could maybe get 10-plus sacks this year. That didn't happen. Overall, though, with the talent, you roll the dice that he can put it all together in the NFL and become a productive player.
Okay, I want to stay in the AFC